I'm taking you to court today, boy.
Duncan thinks that he's the real Spice King. I'll show him how spicy attorneys can get.
Hey everyone, welcome. Today we are doing a Hot Ones themed hot sauce experience with Elder Law. Today I'm with Jordan McIntyre, and my name is Duncan Blount with Shelby Spice, and I'm also Navion of Shelby Assisted Living. I'm thrilled today to be bringing my hot sauce and my experience with assisted living, and also be asking questions of an attorney right here in Shelby. So Jordan, how are you feeling? You ready to have some hot sauce today?
I'm feeling great, man. I'm hoping that I can beat the Spice King, Mr. Shelby Spice himself.
It's gonna take some courage, some grit, a strong stomach.
I told him I won't even need the milk, so we'll see.
Now our first hot sauce today is one of my hot sauces. We're gonna do 10.
10.
The first one is called The Eternal Now by Shelby Spice. I have some other guest hot sauces from around North Carolina, but there's gonna be a couple Shelby Spice featured throughout. Now this one has fermented jalapenos, mangoes, and a Filipino cane vinegar that's to die for. The Eternal Now. So I was thinking that we could just drizzle all over these naked wings.
Okay.
And just a nice big heavy helping. This is what I would call probably a 4 out of 10 on the heat scale.
Okay.
So definitely a medium hot sauce.
So I better do a good job with this one because this is the lowest.
This is the lowest of the low. This is gonna probably be the most enjoyable.
Okay. You think that's enough?
Oh, for sure.
Okay.
Are we ready?
Yes.
3, 2, 1. We need more.
That's good.
I love just that jalapeno flavor. Not too hot.
Yes.
Any hot sauce that's loose, I call it a smotherer. Hell yeah, dude.
Oh yeah, dude.
So I have my first question for you. When it comes to elder law, I feel like there's so many things that elders need when it comes to their legal protection. But how would you sum up in a couple sentences what you offer so that I can refer McIntyre Elder Law and maybe just to help understand what you guys do?
I think really we protect the individual with documents like powers of attorney. We ensure that someone can take care of their legal and financial affairs if they're ever incapacitated, and make healthcare decisions for them. And then after we focus on protecting the individual, we also focus on protecting their assets and their legacies. So really their families, you know? I think that America is one of the few countries where you really have a lot of control after you pass on what happens to your assets, and that can allow you to really leave a long-lasting legacy and protect your family. So I think that's what we do here.
Yeah.
I really do.
Nice. Our next hot sauce is called the Token Swinger, and this one's actually out of Hendersonville.
Yes.
I think that bringing in other North Carolina small batch hot sauces is important for variety, because collectors want variety. They want new experiences. And you can see this has pineapple and Merida peppers, and it's a pretty sweet one, not very hot. It's a little bit sweet. It's got light brown sugar. And Hendersonville is where you guys have another office, right?
We do. I'm excited.
The Token Swinger.
Pineapple. I want to see how that tastes.
All right, 3, 2, 1. Like a sweet Thanksgiving meal. The owner of this company, his name's Nick.
Nick?
He does a great job, yeah. He's got a couple really good hot sauces. So, being in assisted living, I hear a lot about Medicaid long-term care.
Yes.
And there's a 5-year period, if I remember correctly. What does that 5 years refer to? I never can remember that.
So there's a 3-year look-back period for qualifying for assisted living, and then there's a 5-year look-back period for qualifying for long-term care or nursing home care. That's 24-hour around-the-clock care.
Oh, I see.
So anytime you try to qualify for a benefit, Medicaid is going to look at any transactions you made in the last 3 to 5 years that could be sanctionable transfers. So if you gifted property, you gifted a certain amount of money, the state does not want someone to, have $1 million or $2 million, give it all away today, and then qualify for Medicaid tomorrow. So it is important as an estate planning attorney to look at what people have done in the last 3 to 5 years, see if there's a way to cure these sanctions so they can still get qualified for a benefit. But really, we want to make sure that we're doing things properly. So if we're deeding property to a trust, are we doing that compliant with the Medicaid rules? A ladybird deed is a way to maintain your primary residence, and then you can also still get qualified for Medicaid. So you need to be aware of that look back period and think about what you're doing. You don't want to just give away your home or all your money, because then you might not be able to qualify for a benefit in the next 3 to 5 years.
Interesting.
It's just something to consider, and to meet with an attorney to really figure out what you've done.
And to see if there's a right way to do it before you start giving things away or trying to protect your assets. That's really interesting.
Yes, because then we get in some complicated scenarios where we have to try to cure these sanctions, which we can do, and we do all the time, but it's much more difficult than just doing proper estate planning.
Yeah. We've been working with a lot of seniors at Navion, really trying to find that good fit, because sometimes there's an in-between where there's higher income folks and then there's lower income folks, and there's folks in the middle. And when you're in the middle, it's actually kind of tough to get approved for anything. It's just you're just stuck there at this spot where your Social Security income kind of prevents you from getting these approvals.
And you said that Navion is assisted living, so the income limit for just general assisted living and not memory care is around 13, I think it's 54.50 or 59.50, somewhere around there, that you can get per month. You cannot exceed that.
Max.
You can't get qualified for Medicaid for assisted living. So it's very low. We have clients all the time whose income goes over that, and then you can't really help them, so we have to get them just full nursing home care.
Yeah.
You know, they can't get qualified for assisted living.
It's a tough situation, man. Most of our residents have monthly incomes that are above that, and we're a private pay community, and you get what you pay for. I mean, these are nice experiences and amenities that you get at Navion, but it's like the middle class in America, they still need something. It's like where do you go when you're in between? So that's a really tough problem. I just don't know if there's an answer that we have.
Should be addressed. I think we have, there's not a lot you can do, but not great policies for the middle class or elderly individuals in America. And we're certainly not prioritizing assisting those people who are in end-of-life scenarios. And I think that's bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
we don't have any ways to divert that income in North Carolina. In South Carolina, you can set up trusts to divert some of the extra income.
Oh, interesting.
And still get qualified. You cannot do that here.
Very interesting. So if there's any income, even going to your trust, they count that income.
Yeah. And it'll eventually go to the state, but it allows them to be in an assisted living community. And then when they pass, the divertible income will go to the state.
Oh, so, and that would happen in probate? Yeah. Is that the period
after?
It
would go outside, but any additional income will eventually flow through to the state.
I see.
But it's an effective tool because they can still be in an assisted living community.
Right, like they get what they need during their life.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Our next hot sauce is called the Yes Ma'am hot sauce. This is my best selling hot sauce, and it's a little bit hotter. It's a medium hot sauce. And what makes this one hot is a little bit of ghost pepper. I don't add a lot of ghost pepper like many hot sauces have ghost. I think they overdo it. This is just a dash of ghost pepper, mostly red serrano, garlic, and cane vinegar from Louisiana. This one is so delicious. So let's pour some on. If you love garlic flavor, I think you're gonna love this one.
Why did you name it Yes Ma'am?
Well, because there were Serranos.
Yes.
I would call it Yes Ma'am.
Okay.
Yes Ma'am to the sir. Let's do it.
It's good.
Oh, our next hot sauce is called the Elder hot sauce. This is probably one of the top 3 highest quality hot sauces I've ever made. It took me 6 months to make this vinegar.
In the world.
And it's pricey too. It's a $28 bottle. It has bourbon barrel aged vinegar. And part of what I want to bring to the hot sauce industry is a collectability. This is small batch. I only made about 200 bottles total. And the Sugar Rush peach peppers, they're organic, they're locally grown. I go through all of them. If it doesn't meet my standards, that pepper gets thrown away. And the last ingredient is garlic. There's only 3 ingredients in this hot sauce, dude. The Elder hot sauce aged in bourbon barrels. Are you ready?
I'm excited.
Ooh!
Son of the Elder Law guy trying the Elder Law hot sauce. Elder hot sauce.
Elder. When I think about elders, I think about Presbyterian churches. And you grew up in the
Yes.
Presbyterian church too.
I did.
And elders, that's basically where our American system of representation came from, was the
Yes.
Presbyterian system,
Yes.
which is, hey, have a representative from each body, have a representative from each region, have a representative go all the way up to the top.
Yeah.
Presbyterians have been doing that.
Presbyterians have been doing that.
The elder is a very important position in the church because they make
Yeah.
the decisions and they represent the people.
They do?
Are you ready to taste this barrel-aged vinegar, baby?
Yes.
Ooh.
And I
It's
think
hot.
this would really
It's
be
neat.
an experience that you savor. Not that you couldn't use this stuff all the time, but you're excited to put this on your food,
And to share with people.
Yeah.
One of my life slogans is to bring people together artfully.
Yes.
And hot sauce, you're not getting drunk,
Yeah.
you're not having to travel anywhere. You are bringing people to a table to experience a culinary form, an art form.
Yes.
I don't understand what probate is. Is the government saying we, the government, need to look at how the executor is making these choices and how the will is allocated? Or is probate the government trying to look for what they are owed? What is a probate period?
Well, I think it's a combination. It is a form of government oversight to ensure that all of the assets are administered properly. The will is just a guide through the probate process. So if you haven't gotten your assets outside of probate through either trust or having beneficiaries on the account, that's where you appoint an executor to administer your assets and then satisfy any claims. So it's really that period if you passed away but you have outstanding claims. This is the opportunity for creditors to come in and then satisfy those claims with any assets left in the estate. So it's really to ensure that creditors can get paid. If the state has any claims, they can get paid. But in North Carolina, we're a limited recovery state, so probate is the only way that any creditor can recover. They can't come in and get assets from a trust, or they can't get assets from a bank account if there's already a beneficiary and the assets have already passed.
Interesting.
So that's why it's so important.
In America, in capitalism, there is a way to do inheritance right. And I don't really understand much about inheritance. I've never had to deal with that.
Yeah.
How does inheritance work, and what are some pitfalls that people fall into?
Well, you have a lot there. I think in the context of, I guess, giving people a level playing field, if you have a lot of assets, you can consider donating to charitable institutions. We can set up charitable trusts. But really with the pitfalls of inheritance, you want to make sure that you trust your sons and daughters. You take all of the difficult family interactions and dynamics into consideration. So if you have a child who's struggling, you might want to give them a percentage of the assets when they turn 25 or 30 because you don't want them to get everything outright. Money is difficult, man. Money makes people weird. People change when they know you're getting some of the money. So you want to make sure that whoever's getting the money is going to use that properly. I think trusts are very effective. Let's say that you have a daughter who's been doing great for the last 20 years, but then all of a sudden she develops some type of psychosis or she goes through some type of schizophrenic episode. I would create a trust for her where she has a trustee who gives her money when she needs it. Yeah.
Interesting.
And there's just so many difficult situations.
You're basically looking ahead and trying to
Yeah.
create these safety measures to protect the legacy that was
Yeah.
built by your client.
It's your legacy, it's your client's legacy, and they also want to protect their family. So as an estate planning attorney with inheritance, I'm going to consider preserving what they've worked hard for and then trying to protect their children. And if the children are in very precarious situations, I want to protect the wealth, but also make sure that the kids are taken care of.
Yeah.
And then maybe things turn around and the trustee can make the determination that more money can be given out. But it's really about protecting the client and then protecting the beneficiaries as well. So.
That's interesting. Very interesting. Our next hot sauce is called Tahitian Thunder Sauce.
Yes.
And this is a very tropical, little bit hotter hot sauce out of Durham, North Carolina. It's called Jules.
Nice.
And Jules hot sauce, she just really kills it. This is actually a Scovie Award winner. And let's see what you think about this. I love this heat profile here. I would call this a medium hot to a hot.
Okay.
And there's some fun ingredients. I'm just going to read them real quick. You got carrots, lime, cantaloupe, pineapple, mango, and then some local hot peppers like habaneros and other super hots.
Sounds good.
Let's get in there. So, succession plans for a small business.
Yes.
Succession means passing it on. Is it like a will for a business?
You can think of it that way. I mean, a will is going to be going through probate, and you really don't want your business to have to go through probate, because then that'll halt any type of operations. So let's say, for example, Shelby Spice gets absolutely giant.
Yes.
It's in literally every single city across the world.
We're praying, yeah.
But then you die.
Yeah.
I never want you to die, Duncan. Heaven forbid you don't die. But you do. And you didn't have any type of succession plan. You were the owner, you were the CEO, and you were the only one in control of everything because you love spice. And you were like, I'm the spice king. No one else can do anything with this. You're signing all the checks, making all the big decisions.
Yep.
If you pass away and you didn't have some type of operating agreement or a trust in place where you determined who was going to get the business after you pass, now your interest has to be probated and it'll go to your intestate heirs. But during that process, which could take years for such a large business to pass everything, operations are going to be halted in major ways. So you want to have a plan in place so Shelby Spice can continue to grow and thrive.
Yeah.
And that's your baby, and you know you want your baby to continue to thrive after
Right.
you pass. So it's important. You want to have, whether it be another partner in your business, get that after you, or a child that you really trust. You want a good succession plan that avoids probate.
Avoids probate.
Yes, or no one's getting hot sauce.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, heaven forbid, man.
You can't sign a check.
That's worse than death. The next hot sauce is one of mine. It's called the Fang.
Sounds menacing.
It is menacing. This one's hotter. It's got a great Caribbean flavor, and the Kings Mountain High School students grew these Puma peppers. Puma pepper, fairly unusual, rare pepper. It's an Italian hybrid using a lot of Mexican Caribbean style peppers. Kind of has a habanero flavor, like the herbal fruity notes, but I think it tastes a little bit better, a little bit more. People have described it as like a lemongrass aftertaste, but I think the Puma pepper is great, just a nice kind of tropical flavor. I add some onions and some agave, lemon juice, apple cider vinegar. It's a nice organic vinegar. So you ready to try it?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
It's very cool that it comes from the, I guess, hands of Kings Mountain High Schoolers.
Oh, yeah. I'll let you pour your own in case you don't want to get all
I mean,
liberal on it.
Oh, I mean, I can.
Get in there. It's thick. Oh, she thick. Yes, sir. Oh, that's what I'm talking about. Let's go.
All right.
All right, you got to take a big old bite. This is going to be great. This one's hot. This one's hot.
All right.
3, 2, 1. Family relationships can be complicated.
Yes.
And I would imagine that when you draw up a will or a trust, you've got to take into consideration all these different family members.
Yes.
One question I have, all my siblings have big personalities.
Yeah.
Is there ever a place for like an executor that's not a family member? How does it go whenever your family's just got a lot of weird dynamics? And what are some advice you could give to people who are thinking about their will?
Well, for a will, you typically would have a spouse or a family member, like a child, be an executor. You'd want someone to be level-headed. You could have an attorney be an executor. For a trust, you could have there be a corporate trustee, or you could have an attorney be a trustee. If you're worried about all these family members competing, Another thing you can do is have a no contest clause in a will or a trust where you say if you contest the provisions of this trust, then you're cut out of the trust or you're cut out of the will. So that really prevents any type of family infighting.
So it's like if you complain, you're out. You don't get anything. No way. What's that called?
No contest clause.
That'll hurt somebody right there, dude.
And so if you sue, the only way that you can get anything is if the court determines that there was some type of fraud or undue influence in creating this document. So it really de-incentivizes anyone from trying to challenge these estate plans. And that's a good thing because you don't want there to be any type of fighting.
Yeah.
So it'll take away the wild personalities because they're not going to want to lose their share.
Yeah. It's like, are you being sassy? You better remember the no contest clause.
Or you could have a corporate trustee like a bank. They hire it all the time to administer the trust. Or you could have an attorney be an executor of a will.
Interesting. So, that's a great workaround.
Yeah.
Our next hot sauce is called Rising Smokes All In. The All In hot sauce is probably one of his hottest hot sauces. There is Reaper in here and Ghost Pepper. The big flavor is smoked habanero. The smoked flavor is just smoky. Yes. So all of his hot sauces do have smoked peppers. And he is out of Efland, North Carolina, which is, I think, west of Durham.
Okay.
This one's a little bit hotter. We're getting into the top 4 here of probably all hot sauces in my store. This is top 4 for sure.
I better douse it then, because I can handle this.
Let's douse it, baby. All right, 3, 2, 1. And right now in your career as a new attorney, you're working your butt off, right? Like you work hard.
Yeah.
And it's attitude, right? Tell me how you hype yourself up for the day. How do you benefit your attitude?
Well, I definitely have had to work on mindfulness. I do love what I do. I enjoy helping clients. That's one of my favorite things is meeting with someone and setting up their estate plan and feeling like I'm helping their family. And anytime I start to get tired of drafting some long complaint or reviewing someone's power of attorney, I remember that this is a client that met with me.
Yeah.
It is my job to provide them with good service, and I really want to assist them.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm helping. I feel like I'm leaving a legacy and protecting this person. And no matter how much work I'm doing, I chose to do this, and I really do love the clients that I have.
That's awesome.
So practice mindfulness, enjoy even drafting legal documents. Go take the time to go to Shelby Spice.
Oh, there we go.
Experience.
That'll improve your attitude. Yeah. Our next hot sauce is called the Peaceful Warrior. This hot sauce has 8 different hot peppers in it. Makes me breathe a little bit hard. So Firebelly Farm is out of Charlotte. You guys have an office out of Charlotte.
I do.
And I love just the people in Charlotte. Every time I come in, and these guys are at the farmer's market there in Charlotte, and it's a husband-wife couple, and they grow their own peppers. Peaceful Warrior is pretty hot, man. Are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
This one's gonna be hot.
Okay.
My nose is already running. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Let's do it, Jordan.
We're getting a little spicier.
It's getting spicier.
Yeah.
So here's a question for you.
Yes.
When it comes to working with McIntyre Elder Law, people are going to push off, right? They're going to be like, I can do my will later.
Yeah.
I can do my will later. I'll do that later. First question is, what's the consultation like? And second question is, how do you find people and convince them to actually start the process when they can just keep putting it off?
Well, I think that I'll start with the second part, and then I'll move on to the consultation. We love to get information out there. Mm-hmm. We're experts on this. We do this all the time. And we love to go do seminars, tell people about why they should do this. I think it's fear of mortality and thinking about these difficult end-of-life things and really convincing yourself that this is important. A lot of times people come to us after they've gone through the difficulty of a parent passing and they've seen how difficult it is to get through probate when you're already grieving. And so we try to make people aware of that before, they've already dealt with these difficult experiences. But the sad truth is people have come to us because they've already been through the difficult probate process.
Yeah.
So then we see that in a consult. But consults are great because no matter how difficult the situation is or what someone is going through, I'm going to really connect with them emotionally and figure out what they want.
Yeah.
I mean, this is about emotion. This is about letting you know that you're going to keep a family member from having to go through what you did. You're going to...
You're protecting someone.
Yes. You're not just meeting down, like you're not sitting down with some stuffy lawyer who's just selling you packages. I'm trying to make you a tailored suit. I'm trying to give you peace of mind and give you all the knowledge and experience that I have in this area. And it's going to be a great conversation. We offer free consultations.
Okay.
And I'm going to do everything I can to make sure your assets go where you need.
I mean, free consultations, no joke. Like that's an attorney's time and an attorney's experience and feedback for free. It's pretty nuts.
And I mean, our time is valuable, and obviously time is money, but I don't think that anyone should feel pressure to pay somebody just because you sit down.
Yeah.
And I love to just sit down and give people information, and if that helps you get to a place of clarity, that doesn't take anything away from me. I think conversations are valuable.
Yeah.
I think this conversation we're having is valuable.
Yeah.
So come have a free consultation.
I have an idea for a billboard. You ready?
Yes.
Okay, at the very top, it says, if you don't know what probate is, you will one day. McIntyre Elder Law.
Yeah.
And it's like, and then what are they going to do? People like me are going to Google what is probate, because I'm serious, like I'm sure you've known it for years, but until today I didn't really understand. And then they're going to Google it and say, oh, to avoid this, I've got to actually talk to an elder law attorney.
Yeah, and it's very stressful. I think like therapy is stressful because you're handling the difficulties of life in your mind. Probate and the death is a very difficult thing to talk about.
Yeah.
And I think it just has to be handled. You have to handle the stresses. You have to get your emotions out just to move on with your life.
Yeah.
You know, time is valuable. Take care of your stuff and then move on. Take care of these documents, move on, have fun the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Make the adult decisions, but also meet with the experts so we can do it quickly and you can move on with your life and feel good and have peace of mind. I think we sell peace of mind and we give people peace of mind.
Yeah. Okay. That's billboard number 2. Peace of mind for your legacy.
Yeah.
McIntyre Elder Law. Yeah. I like it, man. You have so many billboard opportunities. I don't know what I'd say. Just be like, stay spicy.
I was raised here. I was raised in the firm. So
That's right.
I do have a lot of little lingos and billboards and stuff like that.
I love billboards.
You got to make some for Shelby Spice.
Dude, what if we had a shared billboard? It was just like 1/2 hot sauce, 1/2 Elder Law.
Hey, that's what we were talking about with the small town, though. It does not have to be so isolated and competitive, and not even just competitive, but everything can kind of be blended.
Yeah.
It's life. You need a doctor. You need a lawyer. We don't all have to be so siloed.
If you go high up enough with the umbrella,
Yeah.
there's actually a lot of overlap with all small business, you know?
What if we had an office in the mall and I'm right next to Shelby Spice and I'm on lunch break?
Let's go.
Eat lunch with Duncan.
Yeah.
Tell them about, I actually can't tell them about clients because it's client confidentiality, but just tell them about some general stuff about the day and he can tell me that. And
What if we had a hot sauce called Mortality and we just had like a philosophical discussion in the hot sauce store? Like, all right, everyone come on in. Today we're going to talk about the philosophy of death, or the meaning of life.
Yeah, like a seminar / philosophical discussion where, you would meet with an attorney later on, but it's more conversational, and then maybe you go and buy some hot sauce for your weekend. And
we could get hospice involved. So hospice is all about demystifying the end of life experience and making death a transition for the family rather than a big fear. Hospice is one of the best organizations in America, man.
And I mean, we could have, seminars.
We could call it a death party.
In front of like Shelby Spice and.
Come on out to the death party, your local cult, Shelby Spice. Okay. Our next hot sauce is the Bull City Pepper Company Death Rides a Bull. It's called Death Rides a Bull because it's the death chili peppers. So these are fatal death chili peppers. So it's a super hot and it's a variety. But what I respect about this is they stick with one pepper and it's like, you're going to taste what kind of pepper this is. They've also got some red wine vinegar, apple cider vinegar, water, garlic, golden raisins. You ready to try this?
I'm ready.
This one's pretty hot. All right, you ready? Hey, you can't outdo me. Look at that. Look, you have so much more than me. Oh, Lord. Oh, what am I doing?
Do the spice.
Oh my gosh, I just got a little bit scared. Here we go. Let's go. Lord help us.
Chili peppers will get you.
All right, here's another question for you. My day job, as you know, assisted living.
Yes.
You're in elder law and protecting people's assets and estates. All this has to do with getting older, getting to the end of your life. You're more frail, you're less independent.
Yes.
Getting old is scary. What's your take on end of life and mortality?
I think that this is something that is so significant. The most important thing in our lives is becoming emotionally healthy and growing up. And adulthood is not just an age, it's a frame of mind. And you can't grow up until you face your mortality.
Yeah.
And if you spend your whole adult life, after the age of 18 or 21, afraid of dying and doing all these things to compensate for that fear, then you're not really living.
Yeah.
Can you imagine spending your whole life afraid of death, and then your whole life passes you, and you've never really lived because you never accepted that?
Yeah. That was the role of priests in our ancient world.
Yeah.
Priests were there to guide you towards spiritual peace, which means acceptance of death, which means that you are fully developed. Fully developed means accepting.
Well, and if you do everything I know it's great to count calories and exercise, and I love to work out and live healthy, and I think that's good for you. But if everything you do is obsessing about death, you're limiting yourself from so many positive experiences with people. Yeah. And I think we used to have elders in the home. We used to take care of our elders, our grandparents, and they would give us this advice and let us see where we would end up. But it could be a positive thing because you'd have interactions with your grandparents. They give you all this experience. You talked about elders in the church. Yeah. You'd have elders in the home. Yeah. We've separated that now by putting older people in facilities, and I do think it's good that they're taken care of, but I think we should visit them. We should have advice from elders, and we should really think about our own lives.
Yeah. At Navion, we try to have a lot of family events where families come in and we set the scene for those interactions and for that loved one. Many times they're not the full loved one that you grew up with, just mentally. They're not 100%, but they're still there. And you've got to come and love them and learn from them and hear the stories. Even if it's the same story you've already heard, you are connecting yourself with their lives. So you are keeping them alive once they do die by maintaining and building a powerful relationship as long as possible.
And they are a part of us. I mean, this is that concept of leaving a legacy. And you want to take care of them, and then you want someone to take care of you, and you want it to be this continuous positive cycle. Yeah,
truly.
Do unto others as you would have them do unto you.
And that's the ideal for family. You've got to stay close.
Yeah,
you got to stay close.
It's the only thing that matters. And that makes me feel good about estate planning.
Yeah, man.
We're keeping everything in the family.
Keep it in the family.
Yes.
You ready for the next hot sauce?
I'm ready. That one was spicy, Duncan.
Oh man.
Duncan, I think I'm winning. I'm not trying to brag.
Bro.
You did start crying.
Hey, I started crying, but I ate more of my wing.
Hey. But I'm winning.
Our last hot sauce is called the Corpse Reviver. This is out of Jules Hot Sauce in Durham. Yes. Oh man, this one's hot. This has scorpion peppers. And we had a hot sauce earlier that had some reapers in it. Yeah. Scorpions hurt me in a different way. Yeah. So I am mentally preparing myself. This one's really hot. But my question before we get into this for you is, which one was your favorite? And I ask that question. I don't ask which one's the hottest, which one can you handle. I ask, which do you enjoy the most?
The first one, the jalapeno. I really loved it.
That's awesome.
I do like spicier hot sauces. However, I'm really looking for an experience, and that one gave me a really good experience. Yeah.
What I do as a purveyor of hot sauces at Shelby Spice Shop is look for hot sauces that match certain kind of qualifications of awareness, safety in their making, processing, and legality too. There's a lot of hot sauces that aren't legal with their processing. You have to get through the state what's called a process authority letter.
Yeah.
And you also have to have an acidification certificate or a co-packer. So I try to work with hot sauce companies who stay very legal and who really want to make a premium product.
Yes.
And these companies that I brought today all do that. Let's take some deep breaths.
I'm feeling the last one in my stomach.
Lord help us. Oh, this is going to hurt.
I have to match that, don't I?
Come on, baby.
Elder Law guy has to beat the Spice King, okay?
The Spice King.
You gotta show him who's boss.
Now, after this, I have my last question for you. We're going to get deep.
Yes. We're doing a question after? Okay.
All right. 3, 2, 1. It's got a heat to it.
But it's very good.
Last question.
I'll try to keep it together for this.
When I was in college, I wanted to be an attorney for my last 2 years.
Yes.
I was a literature major, philosophy minor, took the LSAT, I did okay.
Yeah.
And I started doing my research and I realized that I might not be cut out to be an attorney just because of all the research and the digging and the reading. It's a lot.
It is.
For anyone out there who's considering becoming an attorney, going into law, what are things that surprised you about the day-to-day now that you're a full-time attorney?
I think that I was just surprised by how much you do on a daily basis, how much you're responsible for, and how diligent you have to be. You can't let anything go. You have to make sure you communicate to every single client. When you meet with the client, you have to research the entire issue to ensure that if you're bringing some type of claim, it's not fruitless, it's not frivolous. You got to be on the ball every single day and make sure that you're making the smartest decisions, and you have to know the law.
Yeah.
I can't meet with someone and not know the law, and if I don't know the law, I have to very quickly learn it to be able to help someone. I mean, it's so complex, but I enjoy it.
Yeah.
I think you need to be someone who enjoys continuously learning, researching, handling challenges, and just being able to manage stress is the biggest thing, because you have to make decisions. If you don't make decisions, you're going to be a bad attorney, and you're hoping that you make the right decisions every day. Yeah.
And now, in my life, 10 years after graduating, I am a hot sauce maker and an assisted living professional.
Yeah.
Life hits you with some real curveballs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You're dealing with kids too, right? I'm not there yet.
3 kids on top of it. It is hard. Yeah. Whenever you have kids, it's like you're working on expert mode. Because if I had 5 hours to get a project done 8 years ago, I have to get that same project done in 30 minutes now.
Yeah.
In terms of an entrepreneur, creating content, delegating tasks, but also working in my day job. You know, I'm focused. When I'm there, I'm focused on calling back prospective residents, answering questions, helping their family. In assisted living, we have 3 important documents before someone can move in. We have the FL2, which is the document that the doctor signs saying that you are assisted living appropriate, you actually do need help. And then there's the diet order, which is the doctor saying, here's the things that they can eat versus can't eat. And then you have a TB test. And the TB test is a North Carolina law that says you can't be in an assisted living home or any kind of senior care facility unless we know that you don't have TB. So helping people get that documentation, moving them in, and then transitioning, because transitioning is hard. You've lived in your home for 50 years and now you need 24-hour help. Well, moving into assisted living is going to be a transition. So we try to make it fun and enjoyable, roll out the red carpet, and really show them that this could be like living on a cruise.
I think that's a very admirable thing to do. And it seems like you're juggling a lot, and I think that's great. I think that we need parents and people who are doing a lot and accept responsibility in a positive way. And I think one of the things I like about you is you seem to manage all the stress, but keep a positive mindset.
I actually think I'm happier when I'm really busy. I think that's true for a lot of A-type personalities. You know, it's like you got to go so that you feel like you're worth it.
Well, and you probably enjoy challenges. I mean, I imagine if suddenly you had all this free time and you think that, you know, you wanted to watch Netflix or I know I like to play basketball. I'm like, all the time, I want to play more basketball. I'm sure that you would get tired of that, and you're like, where are all the challenges? Where are the stresses? Like, what's something to solve, create?
Yeah.
I mean, you're doing a hot sauce business on top of everything you're doing.
Starting a business is fun, man.
Yeah.
There's so much just raw creativity, decisions that go into it. And I love it. And I love that I can show who I really am through a business. I can have some messy hair. I can have some fun merch. You get to show who you are. You have your own business, and I love that.
I think that's part of a personality type. I notice that with artists, people who do abstract painting, or they thrive in these fields, even with entrepreneurs, where you have less guidelines. You don't have someone telling you what you have to do every single day. Like, you have this outlet for creativity.
Yeah.
I think it seems like those type of people need that. It seems like you need that.
Yeah.
And that's one of those areas where you feel fulfillment, you know?
Fulfillment.
Yeah.
Well, I am feeling fulfilled with hot sauce. Yes. And Jordan, thank you for meeting with me today.
Of course.
Experiencing this hot sauce. And thank you for all that you do for our seniors in the community.
Of course.
And it's so fun that we share a common target demographic to serve. And we also both love hot sauce. So, dude, cheers, man. This was a blast.
Yes. I had a great time, Duncan.
Oh, next time.
Go visit Shelby Spice. Get a free consultation at McIntyre Elder Law. Meet with me. Go to both places. We're a community. Duncan, I guess I'll let you cap us out.
Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us for this first McIntyre Shelby Spice experience. Hot Ones. Let's go.